So I often get asked in my chat, hey Leon, what can I do to have better aim, or how can I improve the siege? And I typically answer with some generic answer or don't go into too much detail. Well, today I'm going to change that. Today we're going to go over 5 tips to help you guys improve in Rainbow Six Siege. Tip number 1, simply play the game. This may seem a bit obvious or sarcastic to you guys, but this is genuine advice that I give out on the regular. If you want to get better at this game, you have to play it, and you have to play it a lot. Now, I'm not saying quit your job, stop your social life, or anything like that, but when you do want to play this game, make sure you hop on this game and play, whether it's ranked, unranked, whatever it is. Just make sure you're not playing any aim trainers or T-Hunt. Whilst these are good to help learn sensitivity or learning to flick, this will not help you more than actually playing the game itself. Siege is far more complex than that. You need to play against real players so you can learn and see how people generally maneuver the map and how people will peek you. This game is constantly evolving on the best ways to peek someone and how to gain advantages in gunfights. So if you're not in the trenches of ranked playing, you'll never learn what to do, and you'll never be able to catch up and be where you want to be. Tip number 2. Pick operators that you're comfortable on. The game has grown past the need to bring a smoke or a mute for every round, for every setup. You can pick operators with good guns with a 1.5x scope. A good example would be Oryx. He has a T5 of a 1.5x, a secondary shotgun, and prox alarms. His dash ability also allows you to make quick rotates in walls. This frees you up from being bound to arguably worse guns and a more restricting playstyle, rather than having the freedom to do a quick setup, take many gunfights, and gives you the audio cue of prox alarms for intel. This also ties into tip 1, as you'll be able to give more gunfights, therefore allowing you to dive deeper into improving your aim, as you'll be more in the action. Other operators that are good like this are Alibi, Frost, Doc, and even Castle. They all have good guns, they have low recoil, and they have a secondary shotgun to go with that as well. Tip number 3, treat your games like it's a 1v5. This is more for the solo queue players. Obviously, if you have your friends, this might not apply to you as much, but there's something you could still learn here. Kix used to say this as well, and it still resonates with today's game. You cannot trust your teammates to do anything. If you're solo queue, you have to act as if you're in a 1v5, and you'll find much more success doing so. On attack, you can take your time, drone out certain locations, use your util to clear someone out, maybe it be grenades, Sophia charges, etc. And don't be afraid to take that gunfight. There's nothing else you can really do if your teammates aren't responding. Defense. Don't try to be that guy who dies first every round spawn peeking. Play a bit slower, rat in some corners, and take some info for yourself if you need. You can play Valkyrie, you can play bulletproof cams, trap operators like Ella Legion also give you intel. Anything like that that gives you an audio cue or a visual cue to see where people are is classed as intel. So make sure you're playing more operators like that just to give yourself a bit of an edge if you've got no teammates communicating. Simply put, you just got to play selfish and for yourself. It's easy to do the opposite, and as much as people want you to play and communicate with people, most of the time people aren't going to talk. They're going to play for themselves, they're going to do what they want. This also is just the way the game is and how people are. So there's no point trying to change other people when you can just try and better yourself. Tip number 4. Learn how you make noise in game. So you may or may not know this, but everything you do in game, whether it's ADSing, leaning, turning around, standing up, you will be making noise. This is probably why you've been killed before and said the following. How does he know I'm there? Probably because you've been ADSing, leaning in and out of corners and such. So, the best way you can avoid that is just try to hide, lurk in corners, simply stay ADS'd, try not to lean in and out so much, and try not to move about too much, because anything you do can make noises, and when they're really close to you as well, they're going to hear you too. Make sure you also try not to lean out as much or lean into the wall when you're in a corner. This is because your operator's position in third person is not affected. You're only limiting your own field of view and giving your opponents the advantage by doing so. And finally, my last tip. Pre-aim and pre-fire more common angles. How often do you finish a round with maybe 2 to 3 mags left in your pocket? Why not use this leftover util pre-firing someone, which could grant you a free kill most of the time? Ranked players are very default. They don't like to do much that's innovative or new. They like to stick to what they know and are comfortable doing, which leads to people playing in these default positions you can see throughout maps, like for example border half wall. If you learn these positions and how to pre-aim and pre-fire those corners, more often than not, you're going to grant yourself a little free kill and a nice KD boost in that game. Right, that's all I had for you guys today. If you found this useful, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a lot to figure out if you guys like this style of content. Also, let me know how it goes in your ranked games after you've taken my tips into consideration. Leave a comment below, let me know how it goes for you. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope you enjoyed the video.